Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. Today we're going to review and play Pixel Rip 1989 VR, a game on the Steam Store and the Oculus Store for the Valve Index, HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and Windows Mixed Reality. It normally retails for $24.99. I actually bought this back in March on the Steam Store, 50% off sale. And overall, I do recommend this game, but it's a very tepid recommendation. I'm going to give this game a 6 out of 10. I did enjoy certain parts of the game. It's really exciting, especially at the start. You're back to the school. You're back in school. You're trying to hide your gamepad from the teacher while you're trying to play. And it's really exciting at first, and it's really like, this is pretty cool. Brings back some childhood memories. The problem with Pixel Ripped 1999 for me is that the core gameplay itself was very tedious, bland, boring. I did not enjoy the platforming. I like retro gaming. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan. I grew up on Super Mario Brothers. So Super Mario Brothers will always have a big place in my heart. Definitely something that gets me excited. But to be honest, the platforming here I found just to be bland. It really didn't make me excited about anything. One of the problems is the controls. So I tried, first of all, playing this game with touch controllers, with my motion controllers. And I didn't find the controls to be all that good using motion controllers. And by the way, there's a lot of navigation-based gameplay in this game. So definitely not a fan of navigation-based gaze navigation for gameplay. I think developers should avoid that at all costs when possible. Now there are some few exceptions where gaze-based navigation does work, but I don't think it worked in this game. I thought it was a very cheap way to do something that could have been done a lot better with the use of motion controllers, and it just wasn't. Room scale to make it feel better, and it just felt like a cheap way to do it. And I'm talking about the spitball. So in this game you are using spitballs a lot for the part of the gaming, and that's cool. I like that idea. It's really nice. The problem with that is that in this game it's gaze-based navigation for the spitball. So in other words, you're not picking up the spitball with your hands, with your virtual hands, with the use of your motion controllers. You're basically just using your eyes, your headset to look into the direction of where you can pick up the spitball, and then also using your gaze to aim and fire. I would have preferred a system where you actually pick up the spitball with your motion controllers and then do a head movement to indicate that you're about to spit. And that would have made it much more immersive, a lot more fun. Now obviously that would be a little bit more tricky while you're trying to retro game with also your motion controllers and trying to do spitball. But you could do a slow time feature to help you out with that. Just a thought on a way to do it. So a slow time feature is to sort of slow down the gameplay, or just find a nice spot where you can get away from the game and then do the spitball thing. But in this game it's gaze-based navigation, and to me it was just a lazy way to do it and a way to really take you out of the immersion that you're retro gaming in VR. The platforming itself, like I said, was uninspired, and you're seeing a lot of the gameplay here. Using the touch controllers is basically just like using a gamepad. So you're using your motion controllers as a gamepad. For that reason, I changed to my Xbox One controller, and I definitely found that using the Xbox One controller was a lot more pleasant to play this game, just because the button pushing was a lot more responsive. I just have trouble with games that require super fast use of the buttons on the touch controller. It's okay, you can use it. It definitely would be better than the HTC Vive, just because I've seen the configuration of the HTC Vive and how it's used to move around with the touchpad and all that. So yeah, at least with the touch controllers you have a little joystick, and the buttons are right there to press, not too difficult to reach. but it's just a lot better with the Xbox One controller. It's a lot more responsive, easier to jump and shoot, and one of the buttons is used, the same button is used to fire that it is used to run fast, so for that reason it's just a lot better to use a controller versus a motion controller. So with the gamepad, it was a lot easier. I got around to beating the game. Like I said, it was around 3 hours for me to beat the game. If you want to do every unlockable, every hidden game mode, it would probably take longer, at least 4 hours, I would estimate. If you're really good at gaming, I had trouble in some spots. I think you could probably beat the game in probably 1.5 hours. But it's just tedious, and it never really evolves in a satisfying way. It's just more platforming, more having to use the gaze-based navigation, looking away from the main screen where you're platforming. And a lot of the story, just for me, was unsatisfying. I honestly don't even... I reached the ending, and I just kind of felt relief that it was over, because I really didn't want to continue playing this game. I had some nice moments. Like I said, the best moments for me are when you're in the school and you're having to distract the teacher with a spitball while you're trying to game. That's really the best part, but the actual core gameplay, the platforming that you're doing on your gamepad, is pretty dull. It's not something that I would ever play outside of this game, and there's just much better platforming, even in VR, than what's presented here in Pixel Rip 1989. I really think they would have done better to make better retro gaming representation in VR rather than this effort they made, because it's just way too basic. And I think they're really catered to the PSVR and the control scheme there. That's why it's a rough translation to room scale and VR, and it just brings the whole experience down. With the core gameplay not being that exciting, I can only give this game a 6 out of 10. A tepid recommendation, definitely a buy on sale recommendation. I think $12.49 is probably what I paid. Is probably the better price for this than the normal price. I think it's a little too high, given the quality and the quantity of the product. I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.